Hi Gaurav. Gaurav, we can start.
Okay, Sana. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, Gaurav, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Okay, so welcome to this new session on SAP S/4HANA 1511, and as you know, this is our first session. So today we are going to concentrate more on the new technology, that is SAP S/4HANA. We'll have the introduction of this new SAP Business Suite. So this is what we are going to do today. We'll see the overview of SAP HANA. We'll understand how SAP HANA is better than the traditional databases or traditional platforms which are available in SAP ERP till now. Then we'll talk about SAP S/4HANA 1511, the roadmap of SAP S/4HANA, how SAP HANA came into picture, and then it has further how SAP S/4HANA also came into the picture. And then what are the key enablers of SAP S/4HANA? What are the key components which are making SAP S/4HANA making the simplified user interface, and how it is simplifying the business processes. And finally, we'll also see some overview on SAP Fiori. So what exactly is SAP Fiori? What are the characteristics of SAP Fiori? These are some of the things that we are going to talk about today in our first session. So let's start. I think most of you, if you are available on the demo session, so we already talked about these points, but I don't know how many of you are new who have not attended any demo session. So this is just the glimpse of what we understood in the demo also. So before we start off with any new technology, like here SAP S/4HANA is a new technology, so we need to understand first what were the challenges. And in this particular slide, we are not only talking about the challenges which were in existing ERP, we are actually talking about the challenges which were faced by the businesses when they were using the traditional database. Which means even though SAP HANA as a platform or as a database came in year 2011, but before that, or maybe customers who are still using non-HANA databases, so what are the challenges they are facing today? So as you know that these traditional databases, they were designed to perform well on computers with limited RAM. Because when these databases were developed somewhere around 22, 25, 30 years back, at that time RAM was not available as it is now. So the availability of RAM was a major challenge during those days. And that is the reason why the data storage, whatever data you post into the databases, they were stored in the form of hard disk. And because you know that extracting the data from RAM is much more faster when you compare the extraction of data from hard disk. And that is the reason why, because of the extraction problem, the data model was very complex. Now what is this data model? Data model is nothing but how you are storing the data and how you are extracting the data. In SAP, the data model is like such like whenever you post any transactions, it is not storing in one table. It is storing in multiple tables. There are some aggregates tables, there are some index tables, right? And why these tables are coming into the picture? To improve the performance, to improve the speed at which the query should be performed. That is the reason SAP as of today, if it is running on different databases, the data is getting stored in multiple places. So one data source, like one table for making the transactions, and let's say other table for generating the reports. So data is getting segregated at multiple places. And if you want to extract the data, it is not practically possible to extract the data from one source. So some data you are extracting from one table and some data you need to extract from another table. So that is the reason why the data model as of today or as of the classical databases is complex. because it is having the redundancy of data and there is a need of aggregations, which means the totals. There are a lot of totals tables which are created. Why they are created? To improve the performance. High data footprint. Why high data footprint? Because the data is redundant. Same data is appearing in one table and some subset of the data is appearing in another table also. So if you remember in our last demo session, if some of you who attended the demo, so you must be remembering that we talked about the table like MKPF, MSIG, and there are a lot of other tables also which are getting affected. So what are these tables? These are just the subset of the original tables. And why they are storing the same data? Just to perform the reportings faster. Right? And that is the reason why the same data is getting updated in multiple places. There is high data footprint, means lot of data is getting stored in the tables. So the database size is increasing day by day. Right? Another important thing is row-based data storage. The data is getting stored in the form of rows, due to which the extraction of data is slower. So two problems. One is the data is stored in the hard disk, and second is the data is stored in the form of rows. So when the data is getting stored in the form of rows, to extract the data for reporting is slower when compared to storing the data in the form of columns. So we identified these two things. We want some database which stores the data in RAM, and we want some database which stores the data in the form of columns plus rows, not only rows. Right? Due to which the transaction processings are slower, because the data is getting stored in the form of rows, it is getting stored in the hard disk. The transactions are slower. Not only transactions, even the reportings are also slower. Same reason, because the data is stored in the form of rows, to extract the data from the hard disk, it is slower. And finally, if the last point you see reactive business model, due to all these situations, what is happening is the top management, they are not able to do the predictive analysis. So let's say if all the data is available in real time, it is available at the faster speed, you can perform the reports every or thrice a day or 4 times a day. But if the data is very slower, if the reports are very slower, normally you take the reports only during the weekends so that it doesn't affect the current transactions. That is the difference. So if you are getting the report once, the data is already done, the week is already closed or month is already closed, you can just perform the reactive action, right? You can just make the action so that in the next month the wrong things doesn't happen. But what if the data processing is faster, if you are getting the reports faster, even like a manager is going or a senior manager is going for some meeting, and before that he just take the report snapshot and he is available, the data is available to him, which will give him the decision making capability, which means he can do the predictive analysis. So let's say today is second day of a week, and out of the 5 days you are already done with, let's say 40%, but 60% time is in your hand, and you can make the analysis, you can do the corrections so that in this 60% of the time, whatever wrong things have been done, they are rectified and you are able to achieve the results not only in the next month, not only in the next week, within the week also. And that is the reason it is called as a reactive business model, which means the data, the reports are available instantly, which means you can take the decisions faster, you can perform the corrections faster. So these are all the challenges, but what we need the solutions. So these are the solutions. So SAP HANA in short is a solution to all these challenges. So SAP HANA stores the data in memory. In memory means in RAM. And that is the reason why it is called as a in-memory database or in-memory platform. Because it is storing the data in the RAM, it is called as an in-memory platform or in-memory database. And the data model is simplified. Why? We know now the reports can generate faster, the transactions can be stored faster, due to which you can delete or you can remove some of the tables which are holding the redundant data. You want to make it simple. Only one table should be affected, and that table will be able to give the results faster at the faster speed. So you can perform the transactions and the analytics on the same table. Right, and that is the reason why it is called as a simplified data model. You need to remove the redundancy. So whatever aggregates, whatever indices, what are these aggregates and indices? So as we are talking about different tables, so some of the tables are aggregate tables and some of the tables are indices tables. What are aggregates tables? Aggregate tables are storing the totals. So for example, for a particular material master, you are purchasing 10 units of material, and then you are again purchasing the 20 units of material. So one table is updating the lines. So first line will be of 10 quantity and second line again will be of 10 quantity. At the same time, the totals are also getting affected. So what is the closing balance is 30. And where it is getting stored? In the aggregate tables. This is just to give you an example. There are a lot of such tables which are just holding the summation or the totals of all the transactions that are carrying out. So what you are doing is you are removing these aggregates. Why? If you remove the aggregates, how will you derive the quantity, the available quantity, the closing stock? How they will be derived? The answer is they will be derived instantly, which means if the data is getting stored in the form of transactions, if there are 3 lines updated in the table, plus 10, plus 20, and let's say minus 5. So 2 transactions of when the stock is coming inwards and 1 transaction of the stock is going outwards. So in that case, if I perform the calculation on these 3 transactions, I can be able to find out the total quantity. And that is exactly what will be happening in the background when you are not having any aggregate tables. So the totals can be generated on fly. You don't need to store this total separately in another table. The same transaction table can be calculated or can be processed to give you the required calculation. So this is just the example of quantity. There are a lot of tables which are holding the values also. Not only the quantities, the amounts, the currency amounts in different currencies. So there are lot of tables of aggregates. So what SAP HANA is capable of, that you can remove these aggregates and you can just store the data in the form of only one table, which act not only as a transaction table but also as the analytical table, which can give you the reports at a very faster speed compared to what it used to be in traditional databases. So obviously, if you are removing all this data, if you are removing all these tables, the data footprint will come down. So instead of storing the data in 20 different tables, you are storing the data in only 1 or 2 tables. So you are reducing the data footprint to 1/10 or 1/20th depending upon the scenario. But definitely you are reducing the footprint. Not only that, the data is getting stored in SAP HANA database in the form of rows and columns. So if you remember, in the traditional system it was only rows. So when we are talking about row and column, obviously it is a technical thing how it affects, but we need to understand as a functional consultant that when you store the data in the form of rows, although if you store the data in the form of rows, the transactions becomes faster compared to if you store the data in the form of columns. But when you talk about the reporting part, the reportings will run faster when you store the data in the form of columns rather than rows. And that is the reason why SAP HANA is not only saying that the storage will be in the form of columns, it will be in both the forms, in the rows also and in the columns also. Which means when you do the transactions, the data will be stored in the rows and internally it will be converted into the form of columns, so that whenever you perform any reporting, you get the reports faster. So it is not only storing the data in the form of rows, it is storing the data in the form of rows plus columns. Rows will help in faster data processing, transaction processing, while columns will help you in faster reporting. Okay, and that is the reason why this is the figure that I got from SAP. So I'm not aware like is this the correct figure or what, but they are saying 1800 times faster processing of data. Now this can vary based on the scenario. It also varies based on the how much RAM you are installing on your computer. There are a lot of things on which this is dependent. And that is the reason finally you can see proactive business model or predictive business model, which means it is not only giving you the final figures at the end of the year or at the end of the month or the end of the week. You can run any reports at any particular time and you can take the decision instantly. You don't need to wait till the period is over. Okay. And to compare this both, the last line, SAP HANA permits OLTP. OLTP is what? Online transaction processing. And OLAP, online analytical processing. So transactions and reports, in short. SAP HANA permits transactions and reporting workload on the common platform. So you don't need separate set of tables for performing your transactions and reportings. Okay, and not only that, it stores the data in the form of memory, in memory, which means it is storing the data in the form of RAM, and it is organizing it in the form of columns. So which means finally it delivers faster query processing that aggregates data for efficiently. Aggregates data efficiently, for is not required, yes. So this delivers faster query processing that aggregates the data efficiently, which means aggregation earlier was stored in the tables. But when we are talking about SAP HANA, there is no need to store the aggregates into the separate tables. This can be performed efficiently during runtime or in the fly, we can say. So these are all the different words: in the fly, during runtime, real time. These are all the things which are associated with the new technology. So this is about SAP HANA. Coming to the next topic, which is S/4HANA. So just to make you understand what is the difference between SAP HANA and SAP S/4HANA, first of all, there are a lot of confusions here. Many of the students ask what is the difference between SAP HANA and SAP S/4HANA. So in the smallest form, I can say you that if you compare Oracle with your R3 as an application, so what is the difference? Oracle is the database which is storing the data, which is helping you in transaction processing and creating the reports. Similarly, R3 is the application. It is the SAP application which is having the transactions. Whenever you perform the transactions, it is interacting with the Oracle. So Oracle is a backend. It is a database, while R3 is a application. Similar to that, SAP HANA is nothing but a database, which is the technology which helps in data processing, while SAP S/4HANA is the replacement of SAP R3 or SAP ECC, if you want to say. So it is an application and SAP HANA is a database. The only thing is SAP S/4HANA can only work on SAP HANA database. You cannot go ahead and let's say I want to replace SAP R3 with SAP S/4HANA, but I still want to continue with my old database, which is Oracle, MS SQL, or whatever it is. That is not possible. SAP S/4HANA can be installed only on the database which is SAP HANA. There is no exception to that. So now I think it is clear what is SAP HANA and what is SAP S/4HANA. So in short, SAP HANA is a database and SAP S/4HANA is an application. Now you must have also read about SAP HANA that it is not just the database, it is a platform. But this is again the technical term. Don't worry about that. Consider SAP HANA as just the backend system which is storing the data. Why they are calling it as a platform? Because it is not only storing the data, it is allowing you to perform some of the additional benefits, like you have SAP HANA Studio, you have SAP HANA Live, that we'll talk about. But at this point of time, just think SAP HANA as a database and SAP S/4HANA as a application. So SAP S/4HANA is a replacement of SAP R3, while SAP HANA is the replacement of Oracle and SQL Server. Any confusion here? Do you have any questions till now? Somebody saying he cannot hear me. What about others? All of you are able to hear, or there is some problem? Okay, I think that is only the problem with one person. Okay, so whoever can hear me, do you have any questions till now? Or is it clear? Nitin, what do you want me to explain? There are a lot of questions coming. These are not the questions actually, but Praful wants me to explain the last part once again. Mr. Shah, the jobs and all we'll talk about. I'm talking about the content that we talked till now. Okay, there are a lot of questions actually. I'm not able to get through all of them, but most of you wants me to give the explanation once again. What is the difference between HANA and SAP S/4HANA? So I'll just give you one example. So today, if you are running R3 or you are running ECC EHP7, let's say the latest ERP that is available in the market, and if you compare, if you see what is happening in SAP EHP7 is an application. It is an SAP application that you are using. It is having its different transaction codes. It is having different modules like SAP FI, SAP MM, SAP ST. There are a lot of different modules. But whenever you are doing any transaction, the data is getting stored in some database. So now this database can be anything. It can be Oracle, it can be SQL Server, because SAP was supporting lot of databases earlier. But now when we are talking about SAP S/4HANA, SAP S/4HANA is an application. So whatever you are calling as ECC, EHP7, it will be called as SAP S/4HANA. Similar to EHP7, different modules, MM, ST, PP, all the modules will be available in SAP S/4HANA also. But whenever you perform any transaction, instead of updating the old databases like Oracle, SQL Server, they are not going to be supported now. So once you are on SAP S/4HANA, this means you are running SAP HANA database. So SAP HANA is a replacement to Oracle, while SAP S/4HANA is a replacement to ECC 6 EHP7. We'll talk about the jobs and all, that is a separate thing, but we are concentrating more here now onto this topic. Okay. So now going ahead, what is SAP S/4HANA? It is a new product and a next generation of business applications, which means till now SAP has launched R3, R2. There are different versions which were launched till now, and starting from ECC 6, they launched these different versions like EHPs. So EHP 1, 2, 3 till 7 it was available, and I think they are planning for 8 also. If you are still want to use ECC, then 8 is, I think that is also available. But now when we are talking about SAP S/4HANA, it is not just the extension. It is not the new version of ECC. It is going to completely replace your ECC.
Hi Gaurav, sorry to disturb you.
Yes.
Krishna, actually, yes, few of them wants to ask the questions. So you want to ask, run the questionnaire session after completing this, or they can ask you in between, Gaurav?
I'm fine with both, but I don't know. There are a lot of guys, so if we go through the questions, I think we'll not be able to complete this session. Then maybe what we'll do,
Okay.
we will complete this first, and then I'll ask them to answer have the questions.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, yeah. So what you can do is that Krishna, once Gaurav is done with the presentation, you please unmute everyone so that they can ask their questions. Okay.
Okay, madam. I will unmute one by one.
Thank you.
They will ask.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, madam.
Thank you, Krishna.
Okay. Yes. So we are talking about SAP S/4HANA. It is the replacement to ECC. It is not the next version of ECC. It is completely replacement. It is completely new ERP. It is completely new product, and whatever developments will be available in market after SAP S/4HANA, they will be based on this technology only. So there will be no upgrades to EHP now. You will not find any upgrades which are available to EHP because they will be completely, they will not be supported after 2025. They already provided the deadline that whatever ECC you are running as of today, it will be only supported till 2025. So you can, like if any customer wants to go for SAP, they will definitely not go with the existing ERP, because if he wants to go with ECC, definitely he has to again migrate to SAP S/4HANA in some within the 9 years which are left. So that is the reason why any customer who is planning to move to SAP, they are going to purchase this new product called as SAP S/4HANA only. And that is exactly what we are seeing in the market also. Everybody is now talking about SAP S/4HANA. Nobody is going for ECC. Okay. So this is a completely new product, and it is the next generation, which means all the developments which will be provided by SAP now, they will be available only through SAP S/4HANA. It is fully built upon in-memory platform SAP HANA we already discussed. So SAP S/4HANA can be implemented only on SAP HANA database. It is not going to support Oracle, SQL Server, Sybase, whatever databases were used till now, they will not be supported anymore. And it provides an instant insight by using a single source of truth. What is single source of truth? I think we discussed this in demo, but those of who not attended the demo session, as I told you earlier, there used to be multiple tables. So let's say I have 20 different tables which are getting affected in a one transaction. So if I perform one transaction, 20 tables are getting affected. So let's say due to some issue with the due to some error or something, out of this 20 tables, only 10 tables were updated. So what will happen? It will create the data will not reconcile, right? So in order to reconcile the data, what I have to do? I have to find out what is this truth, whether the data which is being shown in one table is truth, or the data which is available in the second system, that is a truth, or second table, that is a truth. So there can be multiple sources of truths. But now, because there is only one table, material doc, MATDOC, which is holding the data of all different transactions which are performed, that is the reason why this table is nothing but single source of truth. So there is no reconciliation issues anymore. Everything will be available in one table only. Okay. Real-time processes, dynamic planning and analysis. So real-time, we understood that the reports can be performed real-time, and you can perform the planning and analysis on the fly. The additional benefit of modern and simplified user experience. Through the use of SAP Fiori, the screens also are improved. Like earlier, if you were performing the, let's say, Migo or Miro transaction, same transaction you can perform through the same screen also. At the same time, you have the option that you use the SAP Fiori app, which is very simplified and modern way of doing the transaction. And then reduces the data footprint, which is the functionality of SAP HANA itself, by removing the aggregates. And the last point, you are also getting the choice of deployment, which means till now, whenever you are planning to purchase SAP, most of the cases on-premise edition was available. I'm not saying cloud was not available till now, because cloud was available in year, I think, 2012. In 2012 or 13, SAP has given the option to EHP customers also that if they want to move on cloud, that was available. But SAP S/4HANA from the first day itself offers that customers can go on cloud or they can use the traditional way of on-premise. And the third option also hybrid. Hybrid means mix of both. So some components can be moved to cloud while some components can still work on premise. Talking about SAP S/4HANA roadmap, how SAP S/4HANA came into picture, what was the history? So in year 2011, SAP came up with in-memory platform called as SAP HANA. Okay, so this was just the database. This was just replacing the Oracle with SAP HANA or SQL Server, Microsoft SQL, whatever it is. So whatever databases were used, it is just to replace that existing database to SAP HANA. No further enhancements. It was the same tables. If there were 20 tables affected, here also in SAP HANA, same number of tables are getting affected. But obviously speed was faster. Why? Due to two reasons. The first reason, in-memory capability of SAP HANA, and second reason, the data was stored in the columns. Right? So obviously the speed was faster, but the data model was same. There was again the complex data model, which means there were 10 different tables or 20 different tables were getting affected because application was not touched at all. Whatever processes were carried out, the same processes were carried out using SAP HANA as a database only. But then in year 2012, SAP also came up with SAP Business Warehouse powered by SAP HANA, which means here if you talk about SAP HANA in 2011, this was only supporting ECC. So you can change the database from the current database to SAP HANA in your ECC. In 2012, it was also possible to have the database, SAP HANA database to the BW component also. And not only that, these two components, ECC and BW, normally ECC is separate, BW is separate. Whatever transactions you do in ECC, you have to transfer the transactions to BW and then you can perform the reporting. But using SAP HANA Business Warehouse, it was also possible that you can integrate your ECC with BW, which means embedded BW, which was helping in real-time analysis and real-time reporting. So there was no time lag from the data movement from ECC to BW. Whenever any transaction was affected in ECC, it was straight away available in BW because both were using the same database. So in 2013, SAP came up with SAP Business Suite powered by SAP HANA, where the whole idea was to bring real-time businesses, reduction in the number of tables, so OLAP and OLTP together, and SAP HANA Cloud was also available to the customers. So this development actually started from 2013. In 2013, SAP already had the product, but it was under testing mode. If you see the 2014, SAP has launched SAP Simple Finance powered by SAP HANA. So in year 2014, it was only SAP Simple Finance which came into the market, only one product where the application layer has been changed, which means the tables which were affecting financials, they were reduced. Aggregates tables were removed, and obviously indices tables were removed, and there was a single source of truth. But only finance was upgraded. Rest of the modules like MM, SD, PP, everything same. Only the database was SAP HANA. Other than that, the original tables were still getting affected. And in 2015, last year, SAP launched 1503 in March 2015. This was called as again SAP Simple Finance add-on, but again within this SAP Simple Finance add-on also there were different versions. So this version was called as 1503, and it was only having Simple Finance in it. So again in 2015 also MM, SD, PP, they were still the same. But again there were some additional benefits, like if you compare 2014 and 15, although the data model is simplified, but there was no new user experience, there was no advanced processing, and there was no choice of deployment. Right? So this all benefits came into 2015. And in 2016 or in late years of 2015 or late months of 2015, SAP came up with the new version called as SAP S/4HANA 1511, and that is the version that we are concentrating on. So 1511, it was not only including finance, it was also including all different submodules like MM, PP, SD, all. But now the major difference here is they are not calling this as different modules. Now instead of telling them MM module, they are saying procure to pay. So earlier it was module, but now it is a process. Just to give you an example, if I talk about MM, so MM is materials management, and it is inventory management and the order processing. It has lot of things which are interacting with finance, and it has lot of things which are actually interacting with SD, PP, all different modules. So that is the reason why it is not only MM now. MM is called as procure to pay. Why? Because that is a particular module which will not only concentrate on inventory management and procuring, but it will be the complete process till the payments are made. So instead of focusing a particular module, SAP S/4HANA is talking more about roles. So there will be no more SAP MM consultant. After 2 or 3 years, you need to build the competency in terms of process. So you will be either P2P consultant, or you will be O2C consultant, or production to planning consultant. So different processes you have to be expert on. It is not going to be MMSDPP anymore. Maybe now for another 6 months to 1 year, it is like everybody will use MM and SD also in SAP S/4HANA. But definitely after 1 year or 2 years, you will not find a consultant who will say I am a SAP MM consultant. Definitely it will be role-based consultant. So either you will be procure to pay or order to cash or something like that. If you are a finance consultant, it will be, I think, R2R, which is record to report. So these are the different versions, the roadmap of SAP S/4HANA, how it came into picture, and then what is the latest version available. Just to add one thing here, after 1511, the next version was available in 1602, which was in the last month. But as of now, I don't think it is officially launched. But still, we are waiting for that version. So this improvements will come whenever a new version is coming into the market. Talking about the key enablers, again the same thing. I'll not say this is something different, but you need to understand what are the key enablers of SAP S/4HANA. So whatever we have discussed till now, the same thing is explained in the form of a figure here. So you can see there are basically 3 key enablers. First, obviously, is SAP HANA. Without SAP HANA, SAP S/4HANA was not possible. Right? Second thing is SAP Fiori. It is just the additional benefit which is allowing the users to have the better user interface. And third one, which is more important to us as a functional consultants, is real-time and simplified processes. So the processes are simplified. Which tables will be affected? How the processes will be carried out in the better manner? What are the cockpits available from SAP for all these processes? That is exactly what we are going to learn. So these are the basic key enablers. Now talking about SAP Fiori. Maybe what we can do is I can just open the line. So if you have any questions till now, we'll close these questions and then maybe we'll start off with the next topic. So Krishna, you can just unmute one by one, whoever has any question.
Okay, sir. Yeah, Advait. Yeah, can you please talk to Tana? Any doubts?
Yeah. Gaurav, quick question, how it is this SAP HANA it is different than what used to be live cache in SAP APO, that is also an in-memory database, right?
Which database you're talking about?
SAP Live Cache.
SAP Live Cache.
Yeah.
Where exactly this is used? I have not heard about this particular technology.
This is basically used in SAP APO,
Okay, you are talking about APO. Okay. No, see, APO is only one component. If you talk about APO when it was developed, it must have already used this technology of SAP HANA, which means it was in memory. But APO is just one component out of the total processes, right? So APO, the plan is also to bring APO also within ECC, which means the real-time processing of APO with ECC. But if you talk about ECC is not only one module, it is having different modules. Right, not only the logistics module, there are other financial modules also, there are some CRM, SRM, everything is involved. So when we are talking about SAP as a whole product, we are talking about all these modules. We are not only concentrating on one particular module.
Okay.
Ankit, any doubts? Yeah, can please raise if any doubts is there, please raise your hands. Yeah, Omar. Yeah, please talk to Trainee.
No, I'm fine. I don't have question. It's clear.
Prasad, I think he wants to ask a question. Can you unmute Prasad?
That bar. Yeah, Prasad.
Hi, Gaurav.
Yeah, hi Prasad.
Yeah, I have one query. So, after this section, I understand if I want to go for implementation in SAP, so we need to implement HANA, right? So here onwards, any company go for implementation. So it is the database in HANA and transaction basis in S4 HANA. Is it right?
Yes, S4 HANA is the application. So
Right,
till now,
right.
whatever was happening in R3, that will happen in S4 HANA.
So next, I can assume that next generation is we only use for S4 HANA and HANA only, right? So
Yes.
what happened in already implemented projects? It is mandatory to migrate to HANA, or they can run like a R3 Oracle based system.
Yes, as I told you, SAP already said that they are not going to support existing ERP after 2025. So 2025 is a year till which every customer has to either migrate to SAP S/4HANA or they can decide to go away with SAP. So these are the two options I can see, or maybe otherwise they will still continue to use SAP as a product, SAP ECC as a product, and they will not get any support from SAP directly. But maybe till that time some external vendors are available which are ready to support. It is like a mainframe. So mainframe is not supported by the vendor directly, but there are a lot of then third-party vendors which are supporting this product. So it can be like that only. But again, from SAP side, they are very clear that by 2025, everything has to be migrated to the new system.
Thank you, Gaurav.
Yeah, so Shankar, any doubts?
Right. Actually, we have two servers. One is the SAP R/3 and another one is MDM and SRM. Now, SAP R/3 and MDM, SRM, all three will come into the S4 HANA single platform, or we need to maintain separate server, separate landscape.
Yes, MDM and your R3, they are already in one place now. So if you are moving to SAP S/4HANA, there is an option. I'm not saying it is mandatory, there is an option that you can bring all of them together and consolidate to one server. But SRM, till today, it is not completely merged with your SAP S/4HANA, which means the plan is there. As I told you, there are a lot of versions which are expected in the future. But the plan as of today, it is still not completely merged.
Okay. Yeah, same like CRM and other.
Yes,
special.
whatever external systems are being used, the plan is to bring everything to the common platform.
Okay, this is not related to the subject. We have the different kind of the consultants. One is the SAP HANA admin and application consultant and functional consultants. Okay. Coming to functional consultants, we have MM module. We have already inbuilt and the configuration. Everything is done by SAP. The major scope for the HANA is admin and application people. How it is helpful to the functional consultant?
Okay.
As I am an MM consultant.
Yes, very good question. So let's say you are an MM consultant, okay, and now there are a lot of new things, new functionalities which are available in MM. For example, the way in which you are creating the material master is completely changed. The way in which you create your customer supplier master, that is also changed. So these are some of the things. Even the way in which you create the purchase orders. I'm just giving you the example. I'm not coming to the direct point, but there are a lot of things. These three things which I talked about, like creation of material master, supplier master, customer master, there are some changes. So if you, as a functional consultant, if somebody says you, okay, now we are ready, the basis consultant has now transported all the things and now we are on S/4HANA, and please configure the things. But till the time you don't know what is changed from the functional point of view, right? Till that time you will not be able to do any configurations.
Okay. Okay. We have a SAP Fiori as a GUI for S/4HANA. Is it necessary we need to work on SAP Fiori, or we can use it in SAP normal GUI, R/3 GUI?
You have both the options available. SAP GUI is not going to be stopped. That you can use anyhow, anyways you can use it. But SAP Fiori is going to provide you the additional benefit, right? So, and the second reason why you will definitely use SAP Fiori is because it is not costing you anything. It is freely available with the product, free of cost. So which means every customer is going to purchase that by default. So if they are purchasing, definitely they are going to use it also.
Okay.
Right. So majority of the times you will definitely need SAP Fiori. But again, make one thing clear here: if SAP Fiori is also implemented, as a functional consultant, you are not supposed to configure the SAP Fiori, because SAP Fiori is again a one technical module, and there are SAP Fiori consultants already available in the market. So as a functional consultant, you are not supposed to work on SAP Fiori. You are only there to provide the requirements, like you are providing to ABAP or like you are providing to the BW from the functional consultant.
Okay, so the SAP Fiori most probably for the ABAPers.
Not for the ABAPer. It is completely the separate module, but obviously it is a technical module. So somebody who is having the technical experience will be trying to move into SAP Fiori rather than the functional consultant. But there is not any hard and fast rule that only technical consultants can move. Anybody can move to SAP Fiori.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Actually, one more question is there.
Yeah.
Today morning I have observed the SAP S/4HANA server, and I have opened the purchase order ME21N. In R/3, the end users or super users facing the problem loading the data punching or data entering in the multiple tabs or multiple screens. Is it possible to make in using the SAP Fiori in the single screen or single window?
That is the whole idea. That is the whole idea of SAP Fiori. So already there are a lot of standard transactions, like creation of purchase order is a transaction which is used very frequently. So SAP already provided the better way, simplified way to create a purchase order. Even if you are not happy with what SAP in Fiori has provided, you have the complete control of SAP Fiori. So if you have the Fiori consultant with you, you can ask him to configure the SAP Fiori apps which suits your business needs.
Okay, that all the screens and all the fields I can change it through SAP Fiori.
Yes, that is possible.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, Vikas. Yeah, please talk to trainer. Vikas, are you there? Vikas Agnihotri. Okay. Sunesh, are you there?
How many modules are there in SAP HANA? See, modules like okay. How many modules are there? Can you tell me how many modules are there in R3? Can anybody tell me how many modules are there in R3?
Gaurav, can I come? Can you hear me?
Yes, who is that?
I'm Vikas.
Vikas, just a minute. I think Shahji is asking the question. I'm just replying to him. So, as Shahji, you told SD, MM, PP, these are the basic modules, but there are a lot of other modules which are available in SAP, which even I don't have the exact number how many of them are there. So, similarly, in SAP S/4HANA also, they are not talking about modules. They are talking about processes now. So, as of today, as I told you, basically there are 3 modules which are which they are working currently. One is already record to report is one module which is part of finance, which is already in good shape as of today. But other modules which they are focusing as of now is P2P, procure to pay, order to cash, and plan to procure, or procure to plan, which means the production planning module. So as of today, they are focusing on these 3 modules. And even in 1511, the main improvement areas are into these 3 modules. But there are many modules which are going to come, like industry sectors and all. There are different things that are also expected in the next versions. Yes, Vikas, go ahead.
Yeah, Gaurav, in fact, I have access to this 1511. We are working on that. And we are having the only thing simple about simple logistics is found is the word simple. There's nothing simple about it.
But why you are saying this is because you are still like you have got this system for the first time and there are a lot of changes, right?
No, it's not that. The information is not available how to use that. Simple thing, I'm telling you. We are working on this, say, just listen to me, boss. We have got this sales order fulfillment. Okay. This is a Fiori cockpit. Okay. Similarly, you have a Fiori cockpit on 3 Fiori cockpits on MRP, material requirement planning. Now, exactly how to, for example, we are trying to figure out, for example, this MRP runs have changed. There is now MD01 and only. Everything is gone. So if I have to do something on the older one, how do I configure here? I talk to SAP representative also on the net, and she says still they think no. Leave aside that. What I'm telling you, you made an observation that there is a change in the way the material master is being maintained, isn't it?
Yes.
I have created material and I could create using the same transactions with this thing. There was no difference at all. I don't know what you said. Is it that now you can create through Fiori also? Is that the change you want? Because the material MM01, nothing has changed.
I'm coming to it. So see, as you told that if you directly see MM01, you are not able to see any changes. At the same time, you are saying you are trying to run some transactions which are throwing the errors, right? MD01 and whatever you are talking about. The basic reason here is because whenever you want to use the new system, there should be some configuration in place before you use it. So maybe that could be the reason why you are not able to run this, because the material master itself, you are not making any changes. You are doing it the same way. And that is the reason why you are, I'm just giving you the example. I don't know your exact scenario. I don't know which server you are using, which plant you are using. But till the time all the configuration is not in place, all the new configuration I'm talking about. Till that time, you will definitely find all these issues, because before you use any system, so it's like if you are not knowing R3 and I've given you the R3 system and I asked you to create a purchase order, you will definitely find the issues. Till the time you are not trained completely on how to do these things, right? And that is exactly what you are facing. And here also I'll just add one thing. It is also possible that there are some issues with the server that you are using. Maybe the version that you installed, it is still under progress. This is also possible. We also got this situation where we got the server, we done all the configurations, and then we are facing the issues. And then we gone back to SAP, and then they said that this process is still under construction, so don't use this process at all. So that is also possible, because these are the new versions, they are not tested properly. That is also possible. But at the same time, the answer to your question is, till that time you don't do all the data configurations which are new completely. Till that time, obviously you will find all these errors. Krishna, are you unmuting someone?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, Sunil Verma. Sunil Varnasi, any doubts? Sunil Varnasi. Sunesh, any doubts?
Hello, Gaurav.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Your voice is not very clear.
Oh, okay.
Yes, now it is good.
Is it good?
Yes, it is good now.
Okay. See, my question is, what is the latest version? I had already typed for you in the chart also. What is the latest version of SAP ECC 6.0 before S4HANA? What is the latest version of SAP CRM before? What is the, just for my information, you can just type them. And another question is, in S4HANA, the new dimensional modules like Concur or SuccessFactors or Ariba, Hybris, will it be a single box, or how SAP is planning? Like S4HANA will be a separate box and on-premise, and you have the SuccessFactors. For each new dimensional module, there is a separate box, or will it? Everything will be embedded in the S4HANA.
Yes. See, the planning, as you told, the planning is to bring everything, each and everything onto one place. But as of today, not everything is in place. That is the reason why this plan is spread over next 2 years. Okay. Another thing that you asked, the current versions of ECC 6.0. ECC 6.0, EHP 7 was the last version which was being used. But then again, I got the information from somewhere. Even EHP 8, I don't know which particular scenario for this EHP 8 also came into the picture. But what, as per my knowledge, EHP 8 is also available in the market today.
Okay.
Yes. But you are right. The plan is to bring everything on the common platform. Even your Hybris, everything should be Ariba. They are also bringing everything together, so that, see, this is the plan which I told you is spread over 2 years, which means at the end of the 2 years, with the concept of SAP S4HANA, there will be not any separate boxes. Everything will be combined, and it is like a real-time processing that you are doing from each and every angle.
And for and CRM, what is the latest version?
CRM, I'm not aware about the latest version.
EHP 3, I know. Okay, no worries. Thank you.
But I can check and I can tell you in the next session.
Hi, Gaurav.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gaurav, what is there in for technical resources? So I am basically a technical ABAP workflow SRM technical consultant. I know a bit of HANA database as well. I have like used bots and all the provisioning techniques, ETL tools and SLT and all. So what is there in for me, like being a technical resource, what changes I can expect? Like, will there be changes in the way we wrote select queries, or the way we use function modules, or the way we use workflows? So what will be the impact on people like me, people who have grown as a technical consultants in SAP?
Yes, see, as you are a technical consultant, so it is like, just to give you an example, if you are see functional modules and select queries, whatever you are talking about, they are not going to change. So even in the SAP S/4HANA also, we need the reports to be created, which are Z reports. But at the same time, not all reports will come to you, because SAP S/4HANA is also providing some useful tools like SAP HANA Live, using which the consultant also, the functional consultant also can go and it is like the query that we used to create in ECC also, SQVI or SQ01.
SQ01
Yes. So in the similar way, we can still perform the reporting on our own also. So there are a lot of things which are improved that can be done directly from the functional side. But from the technical side, definitely the new things which are coming into the market. If I don't talk about much about ABAP, let's talk about SAP HANA, which is again the very popular thing, and the demand is going to grow. Not only that, when we are talking about SAP S/4HANA, they are also the person who are actually going to install these new components, right? They are under the demand now. So you need to, like, if you are talking about the installation part, I think basis, currently what the basis job is there, I think they have the most important benefit in terms of moving into this installation part. But again, being a technical consultant, that is also the line which is open to you. And finally, SAP Fiori. So I have seen a lot of consultants who are working on ABAP and they are moving to SAP Fiori, because the future of the reports is going to be SAP Fiori, right? Even though you create the reports from SAP HANA Live, but if you still want to see these reports onto your mobile devices using these apps, so SAP Fiori is going to help you there.
So everything, so gateway server will be as part of SAP S/4HANA, or there would be again a way where you can segregate SAP gateway from S/4HANA, as currently there are two scenarios for Fiori, right? Embedded and
same
hub.
Yes, same two scenarios will be available: central hub deployment and embedded.
Okay.
Yes, both the scenarios will be available in S/4HANA also. They are actually available.
Okay. And BW will and all will be there in as part of S/4HANA itself, right? So
BW, again, the customer has the option. The first option is if the customer is already using SAP and he still wants to keep BW separately, that option is still available. But SAP S/4HANA has the capability that it can bring BW also embedded, which means there is no need to transfer the data from ECC to BW. It will be transferred in the real time, and it will be the part of same platform, same database.
Okay, so you mean to say that people will be using they can use their BEX queries and they can create a virtual path wherein data will be moved from HANA to the BEX query without basically getting dumped into BW?
Yes, so BW is embedded within the system itself.
Oh, okay, it's embedded. Okay. Thanks for it. Thanks.
Krishna, any further questions?
Yeah, Nitin. Yeah, please talk to trainer. Nitin. Please unmute and drag to trainer. Umar, any doubts?
No, it's fine.
Okay, I think Krishna, we should go ahead now, and if they have doubts, maybe at the end of the session they can ask.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so now let's talk about something about SAP Fiori. There are a lot of doubts which are already came before we actually started this topic. But let's understand what is SAP Fiori. So the main objectives, instead of talking about what is SAP Fiori, let's talk about why SAP Fiori came into picture. So the objectives are user have the best possible experience when interacting with the business suite. Business suite is what? Whenever you want to perform any transactions or reports. So currently what we are doing is, currently you need to log in into the SAP system, you need to run some transaction code, you need to provide some information, and then you are getting the reports. Same way in SAP Fiori is not something different. It is also the same, but only thing is it will give you the flexibility that you can perform this from any device, and at the same time it will be very user friendly in terms of the screens that you can see. They are very beautiful screens, and not only beautiful, that is the additional thing, but the as somebody asked, like if I want to remove the columns which I don't require, and let's say I don't want to play with different tabs, I want a single screen where I can enter all the relevant information. So all that things are going to be part of the beautiful or the better user experience. And user can access business critical applications on any device we talked about. So mobiles, tabs, laptops, computers, all these devices are going to support SAP Fiori apps. And the integration with existing IT system landscape, which means it is not necessary that if you want to use SAP Fiori, you have to go for SAP S/4HANA. This is not necessary. Even in ECC also, if you want to use SAP Fiori, that is also possible. You need to check the licensing part, because for SAP S/4HANA customers, it is coming for free. But if you still want to use SAP Fiori with ECC, that is also possible. But again, with some restrictions, because the standard SAP Fiori is built upon the new data model. So if you want to use it on ECC, definitely there will be some apps which will not work there. So you need to see that particular thing. And can be expanded to incorporate specific need of the business. So it is not only the standard apps which are available. You can create your own apps. So with SAP S/4HANA, SAP is already providing some standard apps. Apart from that also, if you have the requirement that you want to incorporate some new apps which are specific to your business, in that case, it is also providing the option to add these new apps. Why companies or SAP are focusing on user interface? To gain the productivity. How productivity will be gained? To increase the user adoption. Which means the users, if you ask the users to get trained in SAP screens, the traditional screens, they will find it very difficult. But if you train them in the screens which are like the mobile apps, they will be very adapted to that. And decrease the user errors, because as we told that columns will be limited, which means there will be less chances of errors, and you can obviously save the cost on the trainings. So again, the operational cost will come down. What are the things which are different in terms of Fiori apps as compared to normal ECC transactions? First thing, it is role based. So as we discussed till now, we were talking about modules. This particular person is expert in MM, this particular person is expert in SD. But now, in terms of SAP S/4HANA, the expertise will be in terms of the processes. So it will be like a procure to pay consultant who has the end-to-end understanding how procure to pay works in SAP S/4HANA, because the apps and the processes are designed in that way now. Which means if you are a procure to pay consultant, you will find all the different apps which are related to this particular role. Let's say if you are accounts payable consultant, in that case you will be only given the role or only given the apps which are like processing of invoices and processing of payments. So based on the role that you are in, you are working as in your company, based on that you will be provided the access to the apps. They are very responsive. Responsive means they can respond to any device. So it is like responsive when I'm talking about, it means it supports all the different devices, mobile, tabs and all. They are simple to use and coherent. Coherent means it is not sufficient that I can say, okay, this can work on all the devices. So let's say the particular screen which looks in the laptop, the same screen if I can see in the mobile with the same user, with the same layout, it becomes little bit difficult. And that is the reason why, if you know that mobile apps are different than what we use in our laptops. So from what point you are using, if you are using from your mobile, the apps will be available as a different, like the size and the layout will be different. While if you are using from your tab, it is going to be different because it is going to be fit on that screen and it is going to give you the best layout. I think the example which I can give you is Flipkart or something which you are using. So Flipkart, once you open into your mobile, it is having the completely different layout, which is very user friendly, rather than the site is getting opened and then you are booking. The same way is available in SAP Fiori also. So if you are opening the SAP Fiori app in your mobile, it is going to have a separate layout compared to what it has in tabs and what it has in the laptops. So that is the reason it is called as a coherent. And this is just an example of SAP Fiori Launchpad. This is not taken from our server. This is just taken from one of the site. So that you can see this employee self-service is only available. But if we talk about our particular SAP Fiori app, so let's say you are a procure to pay consultant. So under procure to pay, you will be able to see all the things which are available under that role or under that process. And this is called as SAP Fiori Launchpad, which means once you enter your username and password, the first page that gets opened into your SAP Fiori is SAP Launchpad, Fiori Launchpad. And it shows you all the apps for which you are authorized. And you can change the layout, you can change the template, or you can change the background. Like it gives you all the options to make it user friendly. Talking about the apps which are available in SAP Fiori, there are basically three types of apps. First is the transactional apps. So let's say creation of purchase order and releasing of purchase order. These are the transactional apps where you are actually performing some transactions. There are second type of apps which are called as analytical apps. So these analytical apps are nothing but it will show you the reports, like how many purchase orders are created. It will give you the list of all the purchase order line items. All such things are the analytical apps. And there are third type of apps which are called as fact sheets, which will give you the dashboard type of thing. Which means if your senior manager, let's say the head of purchase department wants to see how many purchase orders are created today, how many purchase orders are sent, how many purchase orders are rejected. So it will just give you the glimpse. You don't need to enter in a particular app. In the screenshot, the first launchpad itself, you can see like this. So what is this? 3 pending, 30 days missing. Like this, it can show you number of purchase orders created this much, number of let's say the purchase order rejected this much. So it is like a fact sheet. So these are the three types of apps that are supported in SAP Fiori. Obviously, we are going to see all these apps, like many of these apps, when we are going to talk about the transactions. But this is just to give you the basic understanding. If you have questions like how SAP Fiori is going to replace our existing ERP. So as I told you, it is not going to replace. The existing transactions are still available, but this is the additional benefit that instead of using that old transactions, you can do the transactions from this easy or user-friendly screen. Yes, I think this is what I prepared for today. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Krishna, you can just unmute if anybody has any question.
Gaurav? Hi Gaurav,
Yes.
this is Eraj. I think Krishna
Yes,
went for it.
Okay.
So I think Srihari?
Yes.
Srihari, can you? Yeah, you can ask the question.
Yeah, Gaurav. I'm an SAP logistics consultant. In my present project roles, I have activities in MM, SD, PM, and conventional logistics areas. How this HANA S4 HANA is going to help? Basically, what kind of topic we are going to discuss in our further sessions? Like, is it just a minute. Are we going to discuss like exactly that HANA model, like a role-based thing, SAP S4 HANA sourcing and procurement?
Yes, sourcing and procurement, then order fulfillment in terms of SD, and then MRP, how it is going to be different in. So these are the 3 or 4 different modules that we are going to talk about. So from SD point of view, as I told you, this order fulfillment is one of the area that is very critical in S4 HANA. Then as you told about procurement, sourcing and procurement, there are some cockpits which are available in that particular thing. So we are going to talk about that. And then PP and PS. These are the this is the what we are going to talk about in this course.
As part of this SAP Simple Logistics.
Yes.
As part of that, this like procure to pay and cash to
order to cash. Yes.
Order to cash, and then PPPS.
PP and PS.
PMPS.
PPPS, not PM. Sorry. PM, we are only going to see the overview. Rest of the modules, we are just going to see the overview.
When we speak in terms of this S4 HANA like modularizer, it is the title is SAP S4 HANA sourcing and procurement.
Yes. Order fulfillment then, second thing.
Order fulfillment.
Yes.
Okay. Just that's what I want to know. What I am going to learn during these training sessions.
Yes, maybe you can. Maybe you can ask Airaj or Sana if they can send you the demo session also, because we discussed this topic in detail.
Oh, yeah, maybe I missed. I was there in demo session for first part.
Okay.
Later I lost my connection, so I dropped out from the session.
Yes. So this part.
Srihari, what we'll do is like we'll send you the recorded like demo session recordings to you, so that you'll be having a clear picture on that. Okay.
Is it Krishna whom I'm listening?
Sorry?
Who is this? Is it Krishna?
No. This is Airaj. Okay, I'll inform Krishna also to do that one. That's not
okay. Yeah. Okay. From administration point of view, we can speak later.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Next is Sunish. Sunish, can you hear me? Sunish? I don't think so. Okay, I'm unmuting Sunil.
Gaurav, so in the theory, what the picture I'm getting is SAP will give the standard apps for all the processes, core processes, and if anything more is needed, as a functional consultant, I can give the specs to the theory consultant and get the apps built.
Yes, right.
My picture is correct, what I'm thinking?
Yes. There are standard apps which are provided by SAP, and the standard apps are the apps which are frequently used in all the industries, but SAP is also providing you the tool through which you can create your own apps. And obviously, as a functional consultant, you will be responsible for providing the functional specs to the Fiori consultant.
Excellent. Okay, bye. Thank you.
Hello Gaurav, this is Imran here. See, currently my client is using some third-party software where the user would be entering his details, and that is brought by the IDOC and orders are created. Same thing is doing with the sales order and even with the purchase order. So basically, currently a third-party software is used, but in near future, and now it is with third party, the same thing is provided by SAP, which is S4 on this Fiori screen, right?
See, not necessary. You are telling that the third party customer is using a tool, and this tool is posting the documents in terms of IDOCs in your existing system. So this particular thing is also possible in S4 HANA. So even if you continue to use third party tool, which is posting some documents in S4 HANA, that is still valid. But at the same time, if you want to provide the access of SAP Fiori to your customer, who can directly enter the the orders in your SAP Fiori app, that is also valid. That is also possible.
Then just this question may sound quite basic. Then what is the use of S4 HANA here? Like we have got SAP Fiori, we have got general database of HANA. Then what is the usage of S4 HANA? Now you said that SAP Fiori is giving the apps of analytical and even transaction and fact sheets. So what is the use of S4 HANA? I'm not clear on that.
So see, again, S4 HANA is the simplified data model. First thing first. The first thing is simplified data model. So even if you talk about, you are currently, which model you are using, or which version you are using of SAP?
ECC 6.0.
ECC 6.0. So in ECC 6.0, once you post a document, how many tables are getting affected?
Yeah, probably many tables.
So that is the first thing. The first thing is the simplified data model, and which after only simplified data model, it is possible to generate the reports faster, to perform the transactions faster, right? So this, to get these benefits, you are implementing S4 HANA, and these are the additional benefits. SAP Fiori is some additional benefit. The first main benefit is to do the performance faster, do the reportings faster.
Okay, so right. So once we simplify that, so that simplification is S4 HANA.
Yes, basic simplification is S4 HANA, and based on these simplifications, we can include new processes also. So as I talked about the order fulfillment, if we talk about, it is not a cockpit which is available as of today in my ECC. And even if I want to see the transactions of order, there are different transaction codes where I need to go to find the results of this, right? But what if I am available, if I am provided with the cockpit which is giving me the complete information about a particular order? Not only that, how many orders are already processed, how many orders are under process, the real-time analysis of the orders. This is just the example of SD. Similarly, sourcing and procurement, how to like not only giving the information in terms of the simplified data, but you can include the new processes also because of the speed.
Okay, so we simplify that processes, then probably that we call it as a delta ABC, and that ABC delta is given to the Fiori consultant, where he would be creating in this screen a app or anything. Through that delta is triggered, and that is simplified into background, which is S4 HANA, right?
No, can you just repeat what is it?
So that simplification of updating into one table or at one place, of triggering an order or anything, whichever the process it may be. So we do that simplification. That simplification is carried by S4 functional consultant. Okay. Okay till here, then I'll continue the next point. Okay. Now that simplification, let us call it as, because we haven't gone to second, third, fourth class, so let us call it as a delta. So that delta is prepared. And then now that delta to be presented into SAP Fiori screen, because SAP Fiori is other module and S4 HANA is something different. So that delta is given to SAP Fiori consultant, then that delta is extracted on this screen, where through which applications and other details would be entered by the user.
No. See, the first thing, S4 HANA and Fiori is different. That is not the correct statement. The whole idea of S4 HANA and S4 Fiori is, S4 HANA is the main component and SAP Fiori is just the additional component which is allowing the data input plus output through the different devices. So when you are talking about the delta functionalities, we are giving the functional specs to the Fiori consultant. That is incorrect. Whatever delta functionalities are available in SAP S4 HANA, there is already standard Fiori app which is created.
Okay.
Whatever are the new functionalities, the delta functionalities, most of the delta functionalities have already created has already the standard SAP Fiori apps available for them. It is only apart from that, even if you want more apps, let's say the new functionalities are available, but there is one old functionality which is not used by all the companies, but in your company it is very critical. In that case, you may ask your Fiori consultant to create that particular app.
Okay, so Fiori would be creating that app at the background, we as a S4 consultant would be changing the deltas? How will the delta, how will the standard delta would support the Z app?
See, Fiori is already, as I told you, Fiori is already taking care of the delta part. So as a S4 HANA consultant, when you are doing the delta configuration, then only you, after doing the delta configuration, automatically the delta part will be available on SAP Fiori.
Okay.
Yes. So it is like if you are talking about R3 today, if you are doing some basic changes into your configuration, you don't need to change the screen of FB60. FB60 is already incorporating whatever configuration changes you have done. You are not making any changes to FB60 after doing the data configurations. Let's take an example. You are configuring the payment term, new payment term, right? Do you need to change the FB60 also in that case? Not required. Same way you are doing the delta same way you are doing the delta configurations into your SAP S4 HANA. This delta configuration is just the configuration. The logic, the tables are already in place, and these tables are being used by SAP Fiori.
Thank you. I got you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Sakib? Sakib, are you there?
Yeah, Gaurav, I'm audible?
Yes.
Okay, Gaurav, see, I've seen this Fury screen, and there is two tabs are there. There is US profit margin and my leave request. So what I guess that is it Fury is going to be integrated with the lives, like US profit margin is at something like live stocks, and the my leave request is something which is related to the to HR. So Fury is going to be integrated with this module also.
Yes. The whole idea is that it is not only finance, it is not only logistics. What Fiori is going to do, see again, this is all planned. Some of the things are already in place and some of the things are still planned. So as you can see, this my leave request, you are right, this is part of HR. So even for HR, there are some standard apps which are already available in SAP Fiori, and SAP HR is also one of the area where the improvements are already available. Although we are not going to talk about much about HR, we are going to talk about logistics, but apart from logistics, finance and HR, these are the two areas where there are improvements. So SAP Fiori will not only contain the applications related to logistics, it will also contain the applications related to HR, related to financials, right? At the same time, as you told, if you have some third party, for example, let's say I want to bring the exchange rate here. Now this exchange rate I don't want to bring from my ECC. I want to bring it directly from, let's say, xe.com. So that is also possible here. So SAP Fiori you can design in such a way that it is not only giving you the information from ECC, you are also getting the information from the other tools also.
Now the thing is that if some company wants to implement SAP Simple Finance, and because SAP Simple Finance is only doing simplification for finance, so what about the other logistic modules? Means ECC is going to be parallelly running with SAP S4 HANA Simple Finance, or there is two servers? Means
no, there is only there is only one server. So 1511, if you are talking about, if you install 1511, it is no more possible to use only finance. You have to use all different components, all different business processes which are available in 1511. But if your customer is asking that he wants to implement only finance, in that case you can suggest him 1503, because 1503 is the solution which is only applicable for finance. Rest of all the modules, MMSD, they will remain as it is. So whatever they are today, they will be still remain as it is. Only finance will be simplified. But if you are talking about 1511, it is suggested that you go for all the modules, not only for finance.
Okay. Now the thing is that even though if we go for 1511, now we are implementing, so the whole landscape is going to be changed. The Oracle is replaced by the HANA, and then all the ECC is going to be replaced by S4 HANA applications. Then what about the other application like PM and HR, and something like FSCM or other modules which are already present in ECC? What is going to be happen for that?
see whatever changes are there. For example, in FSCM also, there is one change in terms of cash and bank management. So if there are changes like cash and management, they will be part of SAP S/4HANA. But whatever other modules, other sub-modules, like within FSCM also there are, I think, different modules, out of which only one is touched. Whichever modules are not touched, they will remain as it is. They are not going to be replaced. They will still remain as it is, as they were earlier. So taking an example of HR, let's say in HR there is no major changes. There are no changes at all. Let's take an example. So even after SAP S/4HANA will be installed, HR will work as it was working earlier. It is not going to be completely removed. It will be working as it was working earlier without any improvements.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, I think Airaj.
Yeah, shall we wind up? I think Sunish is the last one. Sunish, are you there? I don't know. I think we can wind it up. Kiran
Yes, yes.
Kiran? I think it's fine. We can wind it up. Okay. Yeah. All right, guys.
Okay,
Thank you.
So yeah, thank you. Bye.